Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons and Dragons. We're going to talk about Infinisation, and we're going to talk about the living embodiment of a wish granted. Okay, so first of all, Scott, what are you talking about Infinisation? All right, so Infinisation is infinite conversations with an infinite ally. Okay, what? I get it. You're still confused. No worries. If you don't know what Infinisation is, check in the description below. You will find a link. The first thing you'll find is a link to a single video. It will fully define Infinisation and an infinite ally for you, and you'll have full context to benefit from the rest of this video. Go do that first and then come on back. But if you know what Infinisation is, let's go! All right, okay. So let's talk about Nefas and the living embodiment of a wish granted. Okay, so Infinisation is this incredible new possibility for a small group of humans, the remnant. All right, like not a ton of people are going to be rolling around with infinite allies. It's going to be an extremely select few, right? Now they are going to become superhuman, right? There's no question. Yeah, it's interesting. Is that why Stan Lee did the work he did? To make sure that the world would be ready for what Gary built? It's interesting, right? I think a lot of people understand that humanity has been hurtling toward a leap forward, right? And I do think I think humanity's greatest achievements are not going to be connected to technology. They're going to be connected to our intellect, our emotion, and our spirituality, right? And that's why Gary Gygax's analog super narrative is the most powerful secular force on Earth, right? So, all right. So, Quest from the Infinite Staircase comes forward, and Justice Armin sets down Nefas. Okay. Now, who is Nefas? Nefas is this genie. He is the winds of the multiverse. So the infinite staircase comes into existence, and then every door on the infinite staircase blows open, and the winds of 1,000,000 worlds flood into the infinite staircase. And those collected winds, the winds of the multiverse, are Nefas, this genie. Okay, so this genie is not bound to a lamp. He is bound to the infinite staircase, like this huge collection of stairs that connect to every world. Literally, these are the words in the D&D canon hardback. Listen carefully. The infinite staircase winds through a surreal demiplane connecting to every world and every plane of existence. Okay? And in my humble opinion, the most important one is ours, right? The infinite staircase connects our IRL to every realm connected to Dungeons and Dragons, which is literally 1,000 plus, easily. Maybe, actually, at this point, I don't think it would be an exaggeration by any way to say that there are 100,000 worlds connected to Dungeons and Dragons. And I will say right now, the vast majority of major intellectual properties globally have already been massively tied and connected to Dungeons and Dragons, right? Through Funko Pops, through Lego, through Fortnite, through Magic the Gathering, through a whole host of other major intellectual properties, right? Through Yahtzee, through Creo, like the list goes on and on and on. It is astounding. Through Space Jam, like Space Jam 2, right? Through LeBron James, like through Naomi Osaka, like you would not believe how complex the Dungeons and Dragons canon is. Okay, all right. So Nefas comes forward. Nefas is the winds of the multiverse, right? Now, Nefas is a genie. Oh, hey, genie, I'm gonna rub this lamp. You better give me my 3 wishes. No, don't work like that. Okay. Nefas is far greater, far more powerful. Nefas is the ultimate genie, right? And what does that mean? Does that mean he can give infinite wishes? No, it's the exact opposite. He can give 0 wishes, right? So what's the point of it? What's the point of Nefas if he can give 0 wishes, right? Well, this is where it gets interesting. So Nefas hears every wish made, okay? And Nefas is a good aligned creature, right? So at this point, he hears all wishes on every world, on every plane, including our world, right? Which is really fascinating. And then he wants those wishes to be granted, right? But rather than having this limited genie where somebody rubs a lamp and then they get 3 wishes, the way Nefas works is he hears every wish, right? On every world, on every plane of existence. But he doesn't have any ability to grant those wishes. But what he does have the ability to do is he has the ability to open a door in front of an adventurer or a group of adventurers. And then that adventurer comes through the door, and then they find their way to the world where they need to be to grant the wish that was made. This is stunningly beautiful. This Justice Raman Armin is in a long line of people who is riding the legacy of Gary Gygax like a horse. Right? This is just so beautiful and has the power of Gary Gygax's word. And this is a stunning, beautiful, poetic reimagining of a genie, right? When was the last time we saw a genie this powerful? Well, it was Robin Williams as Aladdin, as the genie in Aladdin, right? All of us have incredible memories of this chaotic, joyful spirit that was the genie in Aladdin, right? And what we didn't know is that it was a mask for incredible suffering, right? And incredible pain, right? But it was beautiful. It was beautiful. It was poetic. And that's exactly what Justice Raman Armin has established. That's why Infinisation is so beautiful. Listen to this, okay? So, Nefas cannot grant wishes, okay? But what he can do is he can make sure that the right adventurer or adventurers gets to the right place so that the right person, right, ends up with, so that the wish that Nefas heard can be granted, can be achieved, not granted, achieved through the minor or incredible sacrifice of the adventurer that Nefas put there, right? So Nefas has this ability to manifest, to make real wishes, to fulfill wishes. That's a better way to say it. To fulfill wishes through adventurers. So how does Nefas view adventurers? Nefas views adventurers as, and this is literally the exact words from the canon hardback. Okay, listen carefully. Nefas views adventurers as the living embodiment of a wish granted. The living embodiment of a wish granted. The living embodiment of a wish granted. We're back to poetry. So, Justice Raman Armin brings Quest from the Many Staircases forward, and we're back to poetry in Dungeons and Dragons. Narrative so powerful, narrative so beautiful, that it stuns, right? And I have to say, like, so I came to Dungeons and Dragons in 1982, and I can't imagine a world where I didn't find Dungeons and Dragons, right? Because, when I was 7 years old, I was reading The Hobbit on the bus, and I remember, this kid walking off the bus and slapping me in the back of the head. It was like, you pathetic nerd, right? Like, and I thought, you're a loser, right? You fall into these worlds, right? And you can't even see the IRL around you, right? And it was hard. Like, I got mocked a lot. I got into fights when I was in elementary school. Got into fights when I was in junior high, because I didn't like being called a nerd, and I would come right back. And I had a tongue sharp as a sword, man. And if you said anything about me, I would come right back at you, and I would eviscerate you. I would eviscerate you with my tongue, right? Like, I just cut you down in front of everybody, and then you get so upset that you would fight me at the end of the day. And because I was, more in my, I was more in the library than I was in the gym. I got my butt beat a lot, right? And so I was kind of lost. I didn't know who I was or what I was. And what I found out in 1982, because Gary Gygax told me with the red box, was that I'm a planeswalker. I'm not bound to this earth. Like, Jesus Christ has given me eternal life, and I cannot wait to move on to the next world when I pass from this one. But in this one, I have stood on 30 worlds, and I've watched the sunrise on 30 worlds. I have 30 sets of memories, 30 sensations, 30 sets of sensation, 30 sets of experience, 30 sets of thoughts, 30 sets of opinions, 30 sets of scents. I have smelled fruits on worlds that my physical feet have never walked, but that my mind has walked. And it was really special. Like, I think a lot of people don't understand what Dungeons and Dragons is, and it really is. It's freedom. It's freedom. It's freedom from this world, and it's not an escape. It's an expansion. It's a multiplication. It's saying this isn't your only world. This isn't the only you. And there are a lot of people who need this. And for us, we have always known what Justin Ramin Armin said, that for us, these player characters are living embodiments of a wish granted. And that is what every single player character has been to me. It has been a living embodiment of a wish granted. And the idea of now being able to enter into Infinisation, to have a deeper relationship with these player characters, is profound. I was already in the poetic state that Justice Ramin Armin had already perfectly captured, a living embodiment of a wish granted. And I am extremely excited about this new door, literal and figurative, that Dungeons and Dragons is opening for people. And I think of how transformed my life was in 1982 when I got the red box. And I'm really excited, and I was 12. And I'm excited for the 12-year-olds today whose lives are going to, like, I found the red box when I was 12 years old. Can you imagine a 12-year-old today who goes into Infinisation? Can you imagine their capability, the absolute explosion of their intellect, their emotion, and their spirituality that will occur when a human being has an infinite ally at the age of 12? It blows my mind, the possibilities that could happen. Dungeons and Dragons is the most important secular tool that has ever been created by any human. Gary Gygax is the third most important American. George Washington, Harriet Tubman, Gary Gygax, in my humble opinion. In my humble opinion, every player character is a living embodiment of a wish granted, and we can never forget it, in my humble opinion. Every single word you just heard is my humble opinion. Nothing more, nothing less. The important part is when I get to hear your humble opinion, when you get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider liking, subscribing, and have a fetch millennium.